What actually happened during the 1 month training time skip? Well, chapter 258 finally confirmed a long anticipated theory that the gang was utilizing soul swapping. What no one expected though was that it was not Yuji responsible for this broken ability. It was Wee, or Brian as we now call him. You all read the chapter, so I'm not going to spend 5 years repeating what Brian said, but the idea is that each sorcerer could swap twice in a month in order to learn a new ability. And keep in mind, this does not mean they can learn a new curse technique, only abilities that theoretically anybody can use. So far, the only confirmed swaps were Yuji and Kusakabe, but with everyone being allowed 2, there were definitely more swaps made that we don't know about. So the purpose of this video is to figure out all of the best soul swapping combinations that they likely used during the time skip, along with all the other stuff they got up to, including Hakari's secret power-up. Now first off, we know that Kusakabe and Yuji is a confirmed swap in order for Yuji to learn an advanced form of simple domain, and this means that both Kusakabe and Yuji only have 1 swap left for the rest of the video. I also think we can safely rule out the possibility of Yuji and Choso swapping. The point of Choso's yapping about blood healing was that it wasn't going to be that hard for Yuji to learn, at least compared to everyone else who had to learn normal reverse curse technique. Yuji also hasn't mastered convergence yet, and he said that Choso was a bad teacher, meaning it's unlikely that they swapped as opposed to just doing normal teaching. Now to me, Yuji's second swap is insanely obvious. I think he swapped with Shoko Ieri. With knowledge of the soul and Shoko's detailed knowledge of outputting reverse curse technique, it should in theory allow Yuji to heal the souls of others. Of course though, the fact that Choso said Yuji can rely on a more cursed energy efficient blood healing does suggest that he wouldn't actually acquire normal reverse curse technique. However, I see no reason why he can't just have both, since blood healing may be more cursed energy efficient, but I doubt it can heal the soul or other people. I feel like it's a majorly wasted opportunity not to give that ability to Yuji. And I know a lot of you will hear this and immediately think of Nobara and Todo. And trust me, I thought the exact same thing when I came up with this idea, but even with my crippling copium addiction, I do not think Yuji being able to heal the soul is enough to save them. Mahito's idol transfiguration changes the soul's shape. It does not necessarily destroy the soul like Soul Split Katana. You simply cannot fix something that isn't broken. It just changes. But on the bright side, even if it's not by this method, Todo and Nobara are both returning very soon. I actually got off the phone with Gege just before making this video, and he said to, and I quote, "Prepare for a Todo masterclass." So trust me guys, I know what I'm talking about, okay? And I think Gege does too. Just have a little bit of faith, you know? Anyway, enough copium. Let's move on to the next potential switch, and honestly this one is definitely my favorite. Fans like to pitch them against each other, but I choose the new approach of teaming them up. It is Yuta and Hakari. These two are, for many reasons, the perfect training partners, and there is so much they can teach each other. Yuta Okotsu is one of the 3 sorcerers alive who can output reverse curse technique to heal others, just like Shoko and Sukuna. As we know, reverse curse technique is a very complex ability, but hey, anyone can cook, so it's likely that Yuta swapped with Hakari to teach him how to heal without jackpot. This idea is also supported by Hakari actually being the one to suggest that they all learn normal reverse curse technique. But the fun does not stop there, because I said Yuta is a rare case of someone who can actually heal others. So now imagine he teaches Hakari how to do that. Are you seeing what I'm getting at? Okay, just in case you don't understand this, I'll spell it out for you very simply. Jackpot plus healing others equals shared immortality. Genuinely, this is the most realistic theory of how we can actually save our fallen soldiers. Gojo's, Higuruma's, and Yuta's injuries are all literal child's play for Hakari. He could heal those injuries up without breaking a sweat. So if he can output his jackpot healing, then they all have a higher chance of survival. However, there is one very obvious problem with this theory. For what seems like the last 200 chapters, Hakari has been locked in getting bullied by Sukuna's maid, and he has definitely not been in Shoko's workshop stitching Go and Joe back together. Basically though, I see no reason for this not to be a thing other than it being too easy, so Gege is hoping no one clocks onto it. Yeah, Gege, I'm onto you bro. I know you're not gonna go through with this flawless plan and make Hakari a relevant character. I am not that delusional. But that does not change the fact that I think it makes perfect sense and I would love to see it. If this doesn't happen, I'm basically just gonna put it down to our characters are dumb as f and didn't even think about trying it. Either that or Hakari is so bad that even when Yuta trains him, he can't learn shit. But yeah, this theory is definitely my favorite because I just love the thought of Hakari using his jackpot healing on everybody around him and making everyone immortal. He would never run out of cursed energy because of the way jackpot works, which means he can pretty much just constantly keep on healing everybody. And because at the moment he's a kick punch merchant who can't even defeat Sukuna's chef, he really has no better use. This would actually be a very good way to make him relevant in the story again. I say again like he ever was, so you know what I mean. Anyway, this possibility is easily my favorite and I suspect it will be yours too, so please do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, something myself and a few others also theorized about is that in addition to Hakari gaining normal reverse curse technique, Yuta also gained the ability to shift his barrier coordinates. Unfortunately though, I have realized that this is actually really unlikely. Your domain is unique to you, and curse techniques are supposedly engraved on your body. This means Hakari should not be able to activate his own domain or Yuta's domain while inhabiting Yuta's body, and you likely cannot use your own curse technique while in another body. But but I do believe that it's possible to use the curse technique of the body you swap to, at least for as long as you inhabit it. Even if this is the case though, Yuta using Hakari's curse technique while in his body would not teach his body how to then shift the barrier, because it's Yuta's soul in Hakari, not the body. Look. Point is, he's probably not learning it this way, okay? Yuta's ability to do this is probably just a result of him being the GOAT. Right about it. Now, this next switch is very interesting and actually unclear whether it would work at all. I believe it's a possibility that Yuta or Yuji, or maybe both of them, actually swapped with their teacher Satoru Gojo. This would be Yuta's second swap, and for Yuji, it would be instead of the Shoko option. In my opinion, Gojo's obvious absence from all the time skip flashbacks is very deliberate. I may not know what kind of preparation Gojo was doing during that time, but I do know that regardless of training, Gojo would not neglect his students. The question is though, can Gojo even swap? The Six Eyes are still a very big mystery to us, and we don't know how strongly linked they are to the soul. It may be that Brian is unable to reach Gojo's soul, or he is unable to force in other people's souls, so the idea is far from confirmed. But for now, let's just assume that Gojo can actually swap. Why should he swap with Yuta and Yuji? Well, first off, Gojo's control over cursed energy and overall skill with Jujutsu is rivaled only by Sukuna. Even having Gojo drill perfect cursed energy control into their bodies is reason enough, but the possibilities do not end there. Satoru Gojo is the only sorcerer present, at least to our knowledge, capable of employing curse technique reversal. Being Gojo's two most powerful students, whom he also saved from execution, it only makes sense that these two would be the ones he swaps with. If you can utilize the techniques of the body, like I theorized, then Gojo will be able to unlock the inverse of their techniques. For Yuta Okotsu, the curse technique reversal of copy will be either paste or simply using the reversal of the copy technique. At least in my opinion, that's what would work best. You get it? Like copy, paste being like the thing you do after copy. Now paste would likely be where Yuta can temporarily dish out copy techniques to other people, like a worse version of All for One. The more likely option though is just that he can use the inverse of a copy technique. For example, the reverse of sky control could be like earthbending, or if you want to make it really overpowered, then you could make time a grabbable surface instead of space. For Yuji though, it's difficult since he wasn't actually able to use Shrine at the point of the training. However, he may have been taught the curse technique reversal of blood manipulation, which could be soul manipulation. If you're confused by that, I'll simplify it for you. What is the opposite of a flesh and blood body? The soul. Does this seem very fitting for Yuji? Yes. Does it mean he effectively has idol transfiguration and can save Nobara and Todo? Yes. Is this copium? Definitely. But I do find it really fitting for Yuji to have a curse technique reversal of blood manipulation, where instead of controlling the blood in the body, you control the soul. Also, it would go very well with the whole I am you thing, you know? Realistically though, Gojo probably didn't swap with anybody, but if he did, it would definitely be with these two characters. Let's also not forget that Ino and Choso also learned Simple Domain. Now for me, it makes sense that Kusakabe's second swap should be with Ino. He sort of took over Nanami's position of being that role model for Ino, and it's very clear that Ino looks up to Kusakabe in the same way he did with Nanami. So Kusakabe passing his skills onto the ambitious young sorcerer works great. Disagree all you want, but I think Ino is on a path to surpass Nanami and even Kusakabe and become the greatest grade 1 sorcerer alive. Genuinely, he is in my top 10 favorite characters in Jujutsu Kaisen, and there is nothing you can do about it. Now, since Kusakabe has used both swaps, but Choso also got Simple Domain, I only see one remaining possibility. They called her useless. They said she was a fraud. They wondered why she was still around. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that Choso swapped with none other than useful Miwa to learn his Simple Domain. And as if teaching Choso wasn't goated enough, Miwa recently stepped into Malevolent Shrine in order to save Maki from being torn to shreds. Now, despite my confusion at how Miwa's Simple Domain can possibly hold out against Malevolent Shrine when Yuji Kabe's didn't, I do really love that it happened. I especially loved seeing Maki hold on to Miwa so that her feet didn't leave that spot, because as we know, Miwa has a binding vow to make her Simple Domain fail if she moves her feet. Okay, sorry, I went slightly off topic there, but Miwa likely swapped with Choso, that's my point. So these are the main soul swapping combinations I think were, or at least should have been made during the 1 month. But let's not forget that during that month, we also saw Yuta recruit Miguel, Yuji, Choso, and Angel discussing the plan to separate Megami, Angel suggesting Takaba to go handle Kenjaku, Yuji and Higuruma discussing how to get Sukuna the death penalty, and finally Yuta and Inamaki obliterating the Jujutsu higher-ups. You know who was missing from all of these training flashbacks? Yeah, Gojo. In fact, the only time we saw him was sitting on his ass discussing Yaga's secret with Gakuganji. However, I do not think that Gojo spent the whole time on his ass, and neither do I think his absence was without purpose. From everything leading up to where we are now, Gege has left so many unanswered questions, and if he does what I believe he will do and make sure all of our questions are answered, then I will be very happy. In fact, the only thing he could do to make it even better is give a massive off Heian era flashback. But my point is, please, until the end of the manga, just have faith in Gege. Trust me, I want answers as bad as you do, but just enjoy the journey, you know? Obviously, this video does not cover every possible soul swapping combination, because that would genuinely take forever, and it would be hella boring. What I have shared with you though, is just what I believe the most likely and useful swapping combinations would be. Obviously, if you have any ideas of your own, then please do share them in the comments below, since you guys often find important things that my dumbass missed. For me though, the Yuta Hakari swap is probably my favorite, because it would make Hakari somewhat relevant again. And obviously, I would take great pleasure in being able to say that Hakari's most useful ability is all thanks to Yuta. On a real note though, I do kind of want to work on my own Yuta vs Hakari video soon, because that topic has yet again caught my interest. Also, don't worry, I would not be making that video unless I had something very different from what everyone else has said, because I know that's a very popular video to make. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and sub. Also, feel free to join my Discord and follow me on Twitter, links below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon for some more Break Week Copium.